All right, CNT125, we're in Chapter 7. We're in the last topic area about automating networks. They give us a couple terms as we start dealing with, virtualized networks, cloud computing, and so forth. There's a lot of scripting and things that get done to either have an instance generate up or reboot, or certain characteristic get changed because of maybe a certain type of traffic that comes through. This thing over here gets altered because of that. So they talk about automating networks in that kind of framework. The infrastructure is constantly adapting to changes input and other criteria is called a dynamic inventory. So my network that's changing to all these things is a dynamic inventory. In cloud design, software developers need pipelines to support the various phases of software development. They give you an idea down here of like, okay, how does this flow get done? We build code, we develop, we test it, and then we deploy it. And that cycle a lot of times gets repeated as we need to adjust things or adapt to things. Infrastructure as code, using text-based commands and computer-readable configuration to create and manage cloud resources. A lot of times this is done as a script where a series of commands are put in the script and that script gets run. Something like add this thing in, shut that instance off, turn that instance back on, and now reboot this, and boom, that script gets run to do a series of things. And that might be a script to do a series of changes or react to or respond to a particular type of traffic that has come in. All of this can be referred to as automation. Tasks like patching systems, applying updates, upgrades. This can all be done where a whole process of things occurs, and it might occur when they might tell you, hey, when you leave work tonight, reboot your computer, and on the boot up, it does a series of download this, install that, reboot the system, and then when you come in the next day, and then shut it down, and when you come in the next day and turn it on, that update has occurred. All of those changes that were needed occurred on your machine. Well, the same thing can happen on your devices and servers and so forth as well, too. Planning for these things and doing a series of things at one time, and they tend to call that automation. Working all this together is called orchestration, and then a playbook on how all of this gets done. Here's just an example of, a script, if you will, or here's Amazon Web Services doing a script of things, writing all these things out to do a certain set of functions. With this, I get a lot of benefits. I can respond to things a lot quicker. More quickly. I can do a series of things at one time. This can hopefully keep costs down, how control better, add more security. And once I have this process, maybe another update comes along. I might be able to just alter that script for the new update needs to occur, and that can be repeated a lot quicker, a lot more efficiently. So all these are part of managing this network. So, version control is, in source control, version control, change the code are tracked and managed. So we need a way to manage any changes that are occurring and even reversed if needed. The central repository, that's the authoritative version of the code. Production environment is what is being released and or used or being run. And any time a copy is made for development, we call that a branch. Well, if you've done any kind of Linux work, there's a lot of branches of code and so forth. So a lot of people recognize that term. This might be a branch of code or a branch of our scripting and so forth that's being done for our facility. And that's what they show you here. Make changes, edits, now it's version 2, changes, edits, so forth, version 3, that sort of thing. When a developer does write this and actually put it into play, they'll call that a commit. We've committed to running this now. That is what we're running, so forth. And all that needs to be tracked and maintained in such a way that can be referred to and or reversed if necessary. So there's the end of Chapter 7.